What's up, fellow Phantoms? Today we are talking about Alita Battle Angel. Alita Battle Angel is a movie directed by Robert Rodriguez and produced and written by James Cameron. James Cameron is best known probably for Avatar, which is where they get most of the technology to make this movie. Very similar, heavily CGI, but let's get into it. So, right off the bat, this preview was kind of released a long time ago. I would say at least a year ago. When I first saw the preview, probably over a year ago, I remember finishing the preview and looking to my right at my girlfriend and thinking, that looks lame. And I really didn't have any high hopes for this movie, at least up until a few months ago when I heard some early screenings, early people kind of giving their thoughts about this movie, and also that it's based off of an anime. And once I learned more about this movie and the fact that it's not just James Cameron, it's directed by Robert Rodriguez, and that it's based on an anime, I kind of opened my mind a little bit more. So let's just get down to like the basic story. So essentially, this movie is about Alita. Her core is found in the junkyard. Christoph Waltz's character, who is an expert in cybernetics, finds her, puts her back together, but she is no longer aware of her previous life or who she once was. And it's almost kind of like a pseudo father-daughter kind of relationship going on. He doesn't let her kind of go out. He puts restrictions on her, kind of like a father and a teenage daughter. And then eventually she starts to like venture off into the world, and that's where this movie kind of shines. This movie is very good at world building. You're in the future. The war, a 300-year war has passed, and you're left with the ruins and how they've moved on from that. There's kind of a whole heaven and earth kind of thing going on comparison. There's a place above in the sky that's referred to as Solemn, and that's where the best of the best, the rich, live. And down in the ruins and the pits is kind of where the everyday folk live. She kind of learns to be herself. She figures out that she was kind of like once a warrior, and she tries to slowly embrace who she once was. I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a lot of action. There's a lot of heartfelt moments. And that's not to say that this movie doesn't have its flaws. It does have flaws, but it is very, very enjoyable. And this is coming from a person that really had no interest in seeing the movie to begin with. So yeah, as I previously stated before, this movie is directed by Robert Rodriguez. It's produced and written by James Cameron. Robert Rodriguez also has co-writing credit in this movie as well. But I would say that the writing, or specifically the dialogue, you could see that James Cameron probably had a heavy hand in that because it's a little clunky. I didn't read the manga, I didn't see the anime if there was an anime, so I don't know if there were direct lines taken from one to the other. I've seen this problem when Twilight was adapted directly to a film, and they took lines directly from the source material, but sometimes what works in print and other medias doesn't directly translate to feature films, because there was a lot of cheesy lines, and so I don't know if that was from the manga or the anime, or if that's just something that James Cameron wrote. But you can definitely see what Robert Rodriguez brings to the table. His kind of like gory grindhouse kind of feel. You could see that definitely in the battles. I would say that's exactly where this movie shines, is in the action itself, and what Robert Rodriguez brings and his experience in that arena is definitely what shines in this part of the movie, as well as James Cameron's technology, bringing the CGI character into a realistic world. But like I previously said, not only the dialogue, but some of the characters. There are some characters that you are kind of drawn to, or at least that they make you care about, but there are some that you really don't. Rosa Salazar was very good in this movie, especially seeing the behind the scenes. You kind of see her wearing the suit, the green dots, the CGI, the movement suit. She did amazing in what she was given. I'm just disappointed because I feel like I've seen a lot of movies, Moonlight aside, Mahershala Ali, I feel, has been wasted in a lot of roles that he's been in. I haven't seen The Green Book, I can't comment on that, but I feel like I've seen what he can do. The same thing with Christoph Waltz. It's very frustrating because I've seen their potential and I've seen what they can do in Glorious Bastards, Mahershala Ali, in House of Cards. Like, they're charismatic people and they can bring a presence to the screen and it's disappointing to see them almost wasted in the characters that they've been portraying. But you know, it is what it is. Jennifer Connelly, I don't know if the character calls for it. Like I said, I don't know the source material. Jennifer Connelly was very flat. She's almost like she's the ex-wife of Christoph Waltz's character, and honestly, like, she's just there. Like, she's very, very stiff. But I know I've said this a few times, but the action is definitely where this movie shines. There's like this motorball, roller rink kind of sport that they play. I think it's motorball. That is by far the best scene of the movie, is Alita in this like arena of skating around, and like this, she's taking on basically 8 people. And that's the thing about her character. She doesn't lose. She doesn't lose in the anime. She doesn't lose in the manga. She doesn't really lose in the movie. I don't really think that's a spoiler. That's just, I guess, a fact about her character. So if it was a spoiler, sorry. Which is very cool to watch, because you see this like little person like taking on like these gigantic monstrous people with like claws and like enhancements, and she's just beating the crap out of them. Definitely has its cons. Like I said previously, the dialogue is very clunky. The pacing's a little off. I mean, the movie itself doesn't feel long, but like the first 20 minutes, you're just like, you're in it. I don't need you to hold my hand telling me exposition, but I still need to know, like, okay, so we need to be invested in Alita. We need to be invested in this doctor, Christoph Waltz's character. But it was very like, okay, you're in it now, start caring about this people. All in all, I would say this is a very good adaptation, in my opinion. You know, like I said, I've never seen the source material. This is a very good adaptation of anime / manga to the feature film. In my opinion, it took kind of like the spirit and the essence of what an anime is and brought it to the screen, especially using James Cameron's technology and Robert Rodriguez's direction and his experience in action, and the use of his kind of blood gore kind of aesthetic, or his brutality in the way he presents his action scenes. So if you're looking for an action-packed like thrill ride, this is definitely that. If you're looking for like a story that's complex and kind of dives into, you know, characters and their personalities, this really isn't that. It does go into some flashbacks as to why these people do the things that they do, but all in all, there's a lot of characters in this movie, and a lot of them are glazed over. It definitely sets up for a sequel at the end of it. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but they're definitely trying to make this probably a franchise. I don't know how this is going to do in the box office. I actually want to see the next movie if they do make another movie, because I do like where they're taking this storyline. But all in all, I think it was a really good movie. It was actually surprising to know that the movie was like almost exactly 2 hours, which I think is the perfect like amount of time to like tell this story. It didn't feel too long. It didn't feel too short. I feel like that's something that a lot of movies are having trouble with lately. But anyways, in my opinion, I say you definitely should go watch this. I'd probably give it like a B+. Yeah, B+, not an A-, a B+. I know that James Cameron brings this technology, and he's the one that owns the rights to the Alita franchise, or at least the rights to bring it to film. But I really wish somebody better with dialogue would have brought this, would have been the writer of this, like a Quentin Tarantino or somebody like that, because you've seen movies where Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez work together. Quentin Tarantino is very good about dialogue and story driven by said dialogue and creating those characters, and Robert Rodriguez is very good about creating that aesthetic. So FilmPhantoms, I hope you enjoyed this review. I definitely enjoyed making it for you guys. It was definitely a good movie. Go check it out. Go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell so you know when I'm coming out with other videos. If you have any other movies that you want me to check out, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I know I posted something on my Instagram. Go ahead and follow me on my Instagram. It's going to be film_phantom. Those are going to be where I post my most recent updates, and I do put up polls on what you guys want me to review and what you want me to rank. Alright, FilmPhantoms, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace! Alright, now for reals, later guys. Bye!